Welcome back to Bleav In Ravens podcast. Daniel Wilcox, Matt Trigger. Before we get started tonight, this episode is brought to you by Bet Online, the #1 trusted site in all your sports betting needs, parlays, in-game bets, and casino-style table games. This week, Daniel, we are playing Thursday Night Football. We have the Bengals coming to town to the bank. It is an over-under 53 points, and we are giving the Cincinatti Bengals a 6-point differential in the betting odds. What's your feelings about that, brother?
What do you mean when you say 6-point differential? We're giving the Bengals 6 points.
We're giving the Bengals 6 points. So in order for us to, if you're going to bet the Ravens, they got to win by 6. They got to win by 7 or more to clear the spread. So that's what you got to do for. That's what you got to do for that. And then if you want to bet the over under for 53, that's a pretty good bet to bet the over, because the Ravens and the Bengals both scored 41 points on Sunday. So that's
I would definitely bet the over on 53.
Yeah, but I think it's a little disrespectful. We're giving them 6 points, even though we are at home and we are considered the favorites.
I don't understand that. Sometimes we're giving them 6 points, but we're at home, and that's saying that we're going to win by 6 points or less.
That means we're going to win by 6 points. That means we're going to win by essentially by a lot more. We're spotting them points according to Vegas.
Yeah, that's still confusing to me. That makes no sense. We win by 6 points. We're going to give them 6 points. Hold on. Say it the way they say it again, Matt, so I could try to at least understand it in their terms. This is just like reading a freaking what do you call it? Like a lawyer profile or a law case or something. I feel like
a law.
Yeah. Go ahead.
So it's a 6-point favorite for the Cincinnati Bengals and an over under of 53 total for the game.
6-point favorite for the Cincinnati Bengals. That make me think that the 6 points are the Bengals are going to win by at least 6. That's what it makes me think.
That's what it makes you think. Okay, that's fair enough. For the first half point spread, they have an over under for 23 for the Bengals and an over under 29 for the Ravens. So they're thinking the Ravens could potentially put up at least 30 points in the first half. That I don't know if I would take that, because we tend to play better in the second half.
I wouldn't take that at all. Only reason I wouldn't take that is because we playing against a AFC North team, and usually against AFC North teams, everybody struggles. Nobody scores. It's like the games that are not usually very high score games a lot of times, because we know each other so well, and we're not afraid of each other. We're not afraid of them. They're not afraid of us. Last game we snuck one out. So this game they're going to come in probably a little bit more prepared. I just hope we come in and prepared. I think the thing that throws me off with the Ravens more than anything is that we have those games which is like, what's going on right now? Like the AFC Championship game last year, their last game we just lost against Cleveland. It's just, you be sitting there scratching your head like, we were supposed to blow Cleveland out, and then I knew it was going to be a decently close game, but I didn't know we was going to lose it. So it just makes me feel like we're not as prepared as we should be week in and week out. So I think if I know Harbaugh well enough, he's not playing right now. Like, he's on the guys. He's on them hard. He's still trying to make sure that he doesn't come across as a-hole number one, but he still needs to get his point across. So if I know him correctly, we'll be prepared very well for this game, and I think we're going to play great. I think it'll definitely be over a 53-point game. It's going to come to a shootout, I think, by the end of the third quarter. I feel like it will be a shootout between Burrow and Lamar. I still think we're going to come out and notch it, kind of notch a little bit ahead of them. So I would definitely take the over on the 53 points. I think between the two teams, we'll score more than 24 points apiece.
Absolutely. And that'll do it for this portion of the episode. We will be right back with special guest Mark Clayton. Welcome back to Bleav In Ravens podcast. Our special guest for the evening is 2005 first-round pick of the Baltimore Ravens, Mark Clayton. Mark, how are you doing, sir?
Great, man. Thanks for having me.
Joining the show.
Glad to be on. What up, Shawty?
What up, MC? Everybody else out there know him as Mark Clayton, baby, but we know him as MC. Woo-wee, that boy clean, Shawty. Ain't nobody make nobody miss in a phone booth like Mark Clayton used to, man. The only person that I've seen the Ravens have ever had that even came close is the guy right now wearing the number 4. His name is Zay Flowers. He reminds me so much of you, MC, when I see him, quick like a cat. He's Superman in the phone booth, dog. He wide open even while he's covered. And he reminds me of you so much, dog. What do you think about our new receiver, Zay Flowers?
I love Zay Flowers. You know what's crazy is out of Boston College, I didn't realize it, but then it made sense when I had a kid from Oklahoma trying to go somewhere, and he was trying to get to Boston College. And I found out the receiver coach was Daryl Wyatt. Daryl Wyatt was my receiver coach when I was at Oklahoma. And was really cool to find out, man, so you had Wyatt, bro. Like, Wyatt is a dude, bro. Wyatt has some dudes. And Wyatt is the reason why I became really efficient when it comes to route running. And I just knew right. I was like, bro, this kid, obviously he's super talented, but I was like, man, he's going to be special. But I was cool to find out that we had the same receiver coach in college. But he is when I first saw him, the name that came to mind was Tyreek Hill. I was like, bro, he's ridiculously quick. You just want to get the ball in his hands in space and let him be. And this, I get excited every time, he gets the ball just to see what happens.
See, that's funny you say Tyreek Hill. When I first saw him, the first person I thought about was you. And then from that point on, when I watched him, I said he has a little bit of Steve Smith in him too. He got a little shit, you know what I'm saying? Like he got a little feistiness to him. I like the aggression, so he was a nice mixture to me of a Mark Clayton and a Steve Smith senior.
Man, that's about, bro. Wow.
That's good company right there.
Yeah.
Respect. The kid got it.
Yeah,
the kid got it.
He definitely got it. And he's with the right group. And he fits. I think what was great was his rookie year wasn't a lot demanded of him. Like he didn't have to be the guy.
Right.
And with that, he got to grow into his role. He was able to make some plays, some really explosive plays that showed us a lot of what he could do. The one play that I will never forget what was about a 70-yard. It was like a screen, I think it was, and he just screen made somebody miss, took off 70 yards, and you saw 4-3, whatever it was. But no, the kid has a ton of potential, and we're really allowing him to grow into that, which I absolutely love.
Yeah, I love that too. I feel like we're definitely allowing him to develop into the star that he truly is and who he was before he came. And I always look at like NFL, kind of like college football, kind of like high school football. By the time you get into your fourth year, your senior year, right, of high school, your senior year of college, you're like a man amongst boys. Yep. And I feel like he's right now in his sophomore season. By the time he gets to year 4 in the NFL, he's going to feel untouchable. He's going to feel unstoppable. And it may happen. It happens a little bit faster for some of us, like junior year sometimes or sophomore. Right. But right now, just seeing the way he plays, he kind of has a little bit of that Florida mindset. My rookie year in the league, I came in, I was with the Jets, and Santana Moss came in with me. He was a free agent. He was my first round pick that year, me coming in as a free agent. And Santana had an edge to him, right? And Zay kind of got a little bit of that same edge. And I think that's where the Steve Smith mentality kind of comes from. When I think of him, I think of that same anger, like that little feistiness, like, don't try me, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, you might see me pop out and show somebody real quick. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, he really like, fuck you. Like, he's smiling with it though. Like,
right.
He's such a smiley guy. Like, he's a fun little guy, but he'll take your head off.
He will, man. He got a lot of shit to him.
I love that. I love that.
Yep. Matt, you want to jump in and say something?
Yeah. It actually helps, with Lamar, because we're not going to expect Lamar to be the running quarterback that he is forever. And the older he gets and the more he takes on that traditional role, so to speak, I think Zay developing into wide receiver one of the top 5 in the NFL in the next couple of years with the way he's going and projection wise, Lamar's not going to have any fall off with his production because he's going to have that guy. And we've been asking for that guy for Lamar for years now. And now that Lamar's getting into the later part of his 20s, almost 30 years old, he's going to have a number 1 receiver, and it's already built in through the draft. He might be the first Ravens receiver to ever take a second contract here for a big money extension.
That is, man, that's a great point. That's
a great point.
Wow. That is crazy to think, but that is a great point, bro. It really is.
If you look at it, we traded away Hollywood in his contract year.
Right.
We gave Bateman a pseudo extension in his contract year.
Right.
You know, we got him for pennies on the dollar right now because his output is not warranted for the little bit of money he's making. So now Zay might be that first $30 million wide receiver the Ravens ever have to pay. And unless something drastic happens, he's going to be that guy. He's just as good as some of these premier wide receivers already. And now he's going to have that refined route running. He's going to grow with Likely. I don't see, you know, Andrews being here for a third contract because of the money he's making. And they got to invest in this offense if they want to sustain this type of firepower. So I Bleav that Zay is that guy. And I do agree with what you guys are saying.
Well said. Well said, man. I agree with you 100%, man. I mean, I don't think you said anything on that statement just now that was false at all. So let's jump into this real quick, Mark. Let's look at our receiving core right now. You know, let's go from who we got. We got Nelson Aguilar. We got Tylan Wallace. We got Mark. We got Zay Flowers. Yep, Rashad Bateman, and then the Johnson was Deontay Johnson, the kid we just brought in, right? So we got 5 guys right off the top of our head. If you had to rate those guys right now, what do you think rating wise? You know, who should be number 1, who should be number 2, or who you think should never come off the field?
Oh man, Zay should not come off the field. One, that's easy. After that, Bate has earned his spot. But Deontay to me is a little not as fast, not as explosive as Zay Flowers, bro. Getting him was huge, and you know, and then I got Deontay. I mean, I'm sorry. Then I have Bate, and I have Nelson, who I trust, and then you know Tylan's in the mix. But man, you know, with those two, and you know, like you said, Matt, you know, as Lamar's getting older, he's not going to be running like he ain't going to. He ain't going to have to. He doesn't have to, but he's certainly not going to be able to continue to, you know, run like that. But we're fortunate to kind of see his progression as a passer. Like he is anticipating very well. He's going through his progression very well. Like he's throwing the deep ball better than I've ever seen him throw it. Like, and that
was a problem for a couple of years.
Yep. And so having this group of guys, or I'll say those 2 guys who are, I will put on certainly in the top half when it comes to route running, and you know, just getting open. Those are 2 of the best receivers in the NFL when it comes to getting open. Period. And you know,
Bateman leads the league in separation at over 5 yards. At least it was, you know, which is insane.
NFL, stupid. Like in the NFL, that's stupid. That, you know, you're up there with, you know, your Devontaes, your Justins. Like these are guys, Cooper Kupp. Like these guys get open because they understand the craft of wide receiver. Deontay's one of those guys. Zay is absolutely one of those guys, and them together will be absolutely deadly. Absolutely deadly.
Yeah, that's a deadly wide receiver room, and like you said, Bates earned his spot. He's playing very well with this new contract, and you can tell he's starting to develop trust with Lamar because Lamar's going to him a lot on third down, and that's important. He's a chain mover, so being a chain mover in this offense is imperative, and I Bleav that Bates going to probably get another contract here with his production going the way it is. You're going to have to invest in this position because you don't want to essentially start over when Lamar's at 30 years old. No. And his passing is so refined. There isn't anything that he can't do on this football field right now. And he doesn't even have to run because you got a Hall of Fame running back in that backfield with you who could very well break Jamal's record this year.
Certainly. And go ahead.
No, go ahead, Mark.
I was going to say for a long time, I was always reluctant to say Lamar is the best quarterback in the NFL because the kid in Kansas City. Right now, Lamar is the best quarterback in the world. And it is clear. And I'm like loving to see it and loving that he's a Raven and loving, you know, all of the things that, you know, me and you, Wilcox, put our time in, and, you know, we grinded with this organization. His organization gave us so much.
They didn't give you a quarterback.
Man, to see what Ozzie did on, as a parting gift to the organization.
He didn't give you all a quarterback until 2008.
Flacco came in. I mean, we had a quarterback. It was Aaron
No, you
McNair.
didn't.
It was
Steve's
Aaron McNair.
1 year. I stepped through Kyle Bowler.
He had a low back problem. What was it? What
Shoulder.
you were blowing backs or low back?
It was. Oh my God, dude, shoulder. It was a shoulder. Oh my God. No, seriously though, for real. When Steve came in, we had Mark. Tell this man, when Steve came in there, dog, we were so freaking confident. We had our swag back. We felt like we was unstoppable. We felt like couldn't nobody beat us. And then he got hurt after that first year. And then after that first year with him hit the injury, he ended up being out pretty much hurt that whole year and played through a whole injury.
I would have my swagger back too. I'd have my swagger back too if I didn't have Sunshine throwing me the ball.
Sunshine.
Man. Here we go again, man. Here we go again.
So, see, the thing is, I brought him up this time. Bart brought him up and had me going crazy.
Oh my God. Here we go again, dog.
Bart had it. There's two people in Baltimore sports history that if I could punch them in the mouth and get away with it, it's Kyle Bowler and it's our current Orioles manager right now, Brandon Hyde. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, like Kyle Bowler will forever be in my doghouse. I cringe when I see a Bowler jersey in the stands because they still wear them.
Yeah.
No, I can't lie, man. I'm extremely jealous of Mark Andrews, Isaiah Likely, Kolar, hell, all of them, Hurst, when they all got a chance to Nick Boyle, all got a chance to play with Lamar.
Yeah.
I can't lie, I'm extremely jealous. I've never played with a quarterback as dynamic as him my entire career. I'm talking about from childhood all the way through. I had a really decent quarterback in high school, went to Clemson. He was kind of phenomenal, Wayman White, but I never played with a quarterback of Lamar's magnitude. The closest thing I've ever seen to that is Steve McNair. Steve is the best quarterback I've ever played with in my entire history of football.
That's awesome.
What about you, Mark? Have you ever played with anybody like Lamar?
Man, no, absolutely not. But I got to play. So my quarterback in college won the Heisman, Jason White.
Mm-hmm.
Incredible. He dropped dimes.
Wasn't he 30 in his senior year, though?
No,
he got hurt like 4 times.
The man said, wasn't he 30?
That's what made it even more incredible. He tore his ACL in back-to-back seasons before he won the Heisman in his junior year.
Right.
Before he tore his ACL, Jay White was a high 4.4 guy. He could dunk. He was a hooper. Like he was cold. Like he taken off. Like he was a dude.
Yeah.
He had 2 ACLs, and he wasn't as agile and he wasn't as quick. But what he did do was he was fearless, and so he knew how to anticipate throws and throw the ball where it needed to be all the time. That's all he did. And with guys like me, Mark Bradley, Will Peoples, Brandon Jones, we had a good crew. And I would, I'm known for taking something short and taking to the crib. I can do that. But I'm also
the crib.
Plays down the field, and he made it very it's very hard to stop when things are thrown on time. When anything's on time, no matter what DB it is, no matter who it is hard to stop, especially in college. In the NFL, there's guys that are super elite. It can be thrown on time, and guys will because of their IQ or they just know they have a feel for the game, they can make plays. But in college, and J-Dub was so accurate and so on time that our offense was so potent.
Yeah. Then I didn't even have that.
Right. That it
should have brought him with you.
Huh?
You should have brought him with you.
Well, he didn't make it through training camp because his knees. He was at Tennessee. He retired in camp because his knees were a problem.
That's crazy.
Period. And so after that, I got to obviously get to Baltimore, had K-Bo, and then McNair came in. I know. McNair came in, game changer. Like, that was the best season that I had in Baltimore, and statistically.
Right.
Mac would tell me stuff as we were leaving the huddle. Hey, do this. Cool. Like, and he just knew. He was, what was that, his 13th year, Shorty? Like,
yeah, I think it was 13. Yeah.
Right. So, his level of IQ, game management, understanding, and just outside of whatever typical pressure is happening in the game, just led to us as an offense being just ridiculously efficient and just good. Then after that, I got to St. Louis and I played with Sam Bradford. He's probably the most accurate of them. Sam was throwing while he was getting hit in the face, and he was throwing that thing. If it was a go route and it needed to be on the right shoulder at 42 yards, he put it there. If I ran a shallow route and I hooked up and the linebacker was closing in from the outside in, he put it on the inside shoulder. He was awesome.
Yeah.
For a short period of time in the NFL, Sam Bradford broke the completion percentage record. When he went to Minnesota, they had a running game and they protected him well.
Love it.
Kid could do it. And then, having that experience for me has been like, man, I'm so grateful, so fortunate to have had it and have fun with each of them as they were. And so now looking at guys and looking at Lamar and what he's doing with those guys, I can only imagine what it would be to have a quarterback that, because Mac wasn't really running like that. He could move, but to have a quarterback that could extend the play.
Yeah.
You're not guarding me at all. You're not guarding Shorty. You're just not.
No.
Like, I'm going to get open.
Twitchy. My boy was
I'm going to get open.
Yeah. And Mark Clayton was a glitch in the PlayStation 5. He's a glitch. Okay.
So just envisioning having somebody like a Lamar who at this point is I would say an elite passer, in addition to a creator, a maestro, somebody who can extend plays and give his guys time to get open. It is the best of both worlds, and I mean, it's the best experience that you could ever have as a pass catcher. Period.
I want it. I wish I could go back all over again and do it again, Mark. Right now, crank Shawty up. Let me get that hot sauce going again, Shawty.
Like, I'm good, man. Money's straight. Y'all got to pay me. Like,
okay.
Really. I love the game.
Yeah, straight up, man. Straight up, for real. My boy drinking wine. You got a new wine out? You got a new wine out right now, Mark?
Dog. One day, maybe.
Hey, I never know what Mark, because Mark is always on something, but he's always onto something, dog. I love it, dog. I love your mindset is always pushing forward. It's never living in the past, dog. So I love it. I never know with you. I'm waiting on you. You always tell me about something I had never heard of or never did. By the way, Mark has his own headphone line. We need to make sure we pub that, Mark. What's the name of your headphone company, Mark?
Where we at? Live. So
yep, Live. LIVV, Live.
Audio. And so this was created when I was in St. Louis and I ruptured my patellar tendon. I was wearing Beats and I was doing pool workouts and they would just slide over. And before that, I had broke a few headphones. And so I was like, man, I want to create an over ear for active use. That's where it started. I started sketching it. When I was in college, I went to be an architectural engineer. And so I have I'm a mechanical guy and I can say like, man, what if we did this like this? Maybe, the ergonomics will help with some of the security. And me and my partner, who our name is on the patent for our headphone, came together and created the first over ear that was made for actually active use, for you to actually go work out.
I love it.
So that's what Live is. And
can't wait to see that on the market, man.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready for my fresh pair so I can put it on for my podcast. We get active on this podcast just in case you didn't know, Shawty. You know what I'm talking
about? Yeah. I'm sure I'll send you our Instagram. It's just Live Audio, LIVV Audio.
We in. I'll follow.
But yeah, man, obviously being retired, that was a huge part of transitioning out of the league and getting my mind into something else, and out of this. It's not even a rat race, but it's like a machine that you're in when you're an athlete at a high level, all the way from college through your NFL career, where everything essentially is in order and done. And my wife is a vet; she was in the Navy for 10 years, and it's crazy. We had similar kind of. I'm not as tough as she. She was a special forces too, so she's a badass.
That's dangerous.
Kind of, it is. But the aspect of I don't have to think about tomorrow. I don't have to think about anything. Like, it's all kind of laid out for you. Us doing life outside of that, civilian life is what you call it. it's different. Shawty can definitely attest to finding life outside of this. It wasn't reality. It wasn't reality.
It was our reality, though. I mean, that's what I think. That's the hardest part about it. Like we've been so elite for so long, and all of a sudden you have to become just normal, and you've never been normal. It's like being Superman your entire life with all these powers, and then all of a sudden you got kryptonite and all your powers is gone, and you don't have no powers. You just have to live as Clark Kent the rest of your life without being able to revisit Superman again. It's tough. It's a tough transition mentally, physically, emotionally, a lot. Yeah, it's just like Mark probably married his wife because she could actually relate to the feeling and stuff that he goes through. It is a sense of PTSD and trauma that we do have to deal with, that we have to face head on. We can't. It ain't no way around it. You got to have the therapy. You got to have the talks. Right. You got to get you somebody that you can trust to be able to relay things to, and you got to have a partner that can understand, which is hard to find because nobody really understands what we really go through.
Sure.
Yeah,
you mentioned that. You mentioned that earlier today, though. With Brandon Williams retiring as the Raven, you said that you felt happy for him, but it's still a sad thing to see.
Yeah, because you don't know where his path is going to take him next, and you don't know how he's going to come off that high. Like coming off that high is extremely hard. Like it's a roller coaster pretty much throughout the entire time you're in the league. But the point of every roller coaster is you get to keep going back up. But when that ride finally stops, boy, sheesh, it's a wrap. It's a wrap. It's hard to deal with. But it's good to see Mark always, man. Mark travels back and forth to Baltimore quite a bit. Me and him get a chance to bump into each other regularly in the last couple of years, 2 or 3 years, which has helped me out tremendously, man. So I love seeing him, love having conversations with him. He always motivates me and inspires me. He's like a little bro to me, but he still got a lot of big bro in him too as well. You look at him, he got a little bit more white in his chin than I got in mine, so you are.
Well, I just don't use the Jing, bro. Like,
you're trying to say I use Beijing? That's what you're trying to say?
Wow.
There's no look. I had to tell Corey Ivy the same thing. There's no Beijing being put in my hair, on my face. I have one gray hair. You see, is right there. It's one gray.
I'm 10 years younger than both of y'all, and I got a ton of it.
Man, look at it.
Can you see the grays up there, Mark?
At least his hair's cut, Mark.
Oh, I see a couple. Yeah.
Shut up, Matt. Nobody asked you about no haircut, man.
You were looking a little rough a couple weeks ago.
I was looking rough, man. It's hard to get to a haircut sometimes around here, but hey, look, Mark.
You live in Atlanta, bro. Ain't no way.
See, Mark got some. He got some great patches. See, I don't have patches yet. That's why you can't see mine as much because they all spread out over the place.
I don't got none of that.
I can't see none of your gray hairs, Matt.
I don't got no hair to get the goddamn first place.
Matt, I don't see no gray hairs up there, Matt. You good, bro?
I got it right here, though. It's all right here. That's living with women. Living with women.
Well, you know where that come from, though.
Right. That's what I was about to say too, Mark.
Really?
Look at him. He like, yeah.
Okay.
All right.
This is PG. This is PG, okay. You got.
All right. Let's get to Cincinnati.
Oh yeah, with sports.
All right, Mark. So we about to face one of the toughest teams I think in our division with the Cincinnati Bengals with Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase, and they got a heck of a freaking receiving core, man. They've been killing us. I feel like Jamar Chase is the Raven killer. Every single time we play this guy, he gets freaking off like 200 yards receiving. I don't know what we can do because defensively we have struggled all this entire year defensively. Probably one of our worst defensive years in the history of the Baltimore Ravens so far. And I hate that because we got a new DC. He's a former player, Zach Orr. I like to see us get into those positions. So when we don't do well right away, it's frowned upon. People don't think we're ready for the job. They don't give us a chance to develop like they give regular coaches and all that type of stuff. They get on us extremely hard. As we make this transition to go to play Cincy, they come into our house. How do you feel about this week, with the Ravens playing the Cincinnati Bengals this week?
Man, I feel good, of course. Short week. But what I do know is, Cincinnati's defense has given up a lot. And I think we have the ability to continue to grow. on our side. I think Cincinnati brought in a running back this week. But Joe Burrow is balling. I think what'll happen is, it'll be a tight game. I think Cincinnati, with Burrow, they always come to play. I do think it's going to be a tight game. They're going to put points on the board. If we can't find a way to get to them, to me, it sounds like they're going to try to run the ball a little more, and get Burrow some time through the run game and some play pass. Hit their receivers down the field, which it makes all the sense in the world based on what our defense has shown. But I just see like a somewhat of a shootout and us outscoring them at the end of the day. That's it. It pains me to say I have a hard time, believing that our defense could make a play if they needed to win the game. But I think we have to have the ball in the end to win at this point.
I agree with you.
Yeah, I guess they traded for a Bears running back, Khalil Herbert. That sounds right, Mark?
They're not going to be eligible to play this week. White.
He's a big guy. To me, that's like, hey. If he's in, to me, they're saying
I don't think he's going to be eligible till Friday.
Running the ball downhill.
Okay, Matt's saying he's not going to be eligible till Friday, so he won't play against us on Thursday night.
Because the trade happened today, and the same thing with Tre'Davious White. We added him this afternoon. He's not going to be eligible to play until next week after our little extended break. But I do agree with you. They do. Chase Brown's a good running back for them.
It's good.
But I want to ask you this. I do want to ask you guys this, and Daniel and I talk about this all the time, Mark. You guys played in an era of Ravens football where defense was king, and the offense was, a work in progress from year to year, and it was never consistent because of coaching inefficiencies, quarterback play. You can name a bunch of things.
Yeah.
What is it like watching now where this offense is so high octane and the defense is barely hanging on?
It's tough for me. I could jump in right now. I could tell you, it doesn't feel like Ravens football to me. In so the sense, I'm so used to our defense creating turnovers and leading the entire NFL in turnovers. Not only leading the NFL in turnovers, but leading them in scoring defense. Yep. I don't think we scored one touchdown this year on defense yet. Wow. If it was a like a safety or something like that. But I don't feel like we've had those long returns for touchdowns. Remember all those games where Ed and would pitch balls back and Dion was pitching balls back to each other and Samari, and that was so fun to freaking watch. Amazing play. Go ahead, Mark.
No, I'd say it's fun to watch. Obviously, offense is fun. Like they say, offense sells tickets and defense wins
championships. Yep.
But our defense was also fun to watch.
It was
turned into offense when they got a turnover. But no, man, it is. It's a different, it's a different team. And the way I look at it is like, man, can this team win the Super Bowl? And to me, the answer is still yes. I think we win it differently, but it's an adjustment. I'll say that. As a receiver, as a pass catcher, somebody who love.
Can appreciate it.
Yeah, I absolutely appreciate what's been done from administration down to have Lamar in his position and then build around him like they've built around him. Because watching Derrick Henry, watch Lamar, is Zay on the edge, Mandrews likely is as elite as they come. Like if likely got 100 balls thrown his way, he's all pro, first team all pro, and he can do it year in, year out. Hands down. But just watching his offense is fun. Like I love why I'm excited. I know we're gonna go down and either it's gonna be a field goal or we're scoring points. When we don't score points, I know it's something that we did. It's never nothing that they did. It's something that we did.
Right.
So it's fun to watch. But yeah, it's tough to know that and come to terms with the fact that this defense is a different defense. It's not the defense of old. But they still have room for improvement.
Yeah, that's a great question, Matt. Like I fight when I watch this game. I think what bothers me is that we're not as hungry for turnovers as we used to be. Like we used to practice that all the time. You remember running back to the huddle, Mark, and they punching the ball out of our hands and stuff all the time. We used to get mad, like, stop. We'll throw the ball at them and shit, hit them in the head. Like, stop, dog. You know, like, stop. You know, but that's how they practice every day. They would try to punch the ball out of you. They finished. If we finished every play, every time we caught the ball, we had to burst. We had to finish.
Yep.
They would chase us for the whole 10, 15, 20 yards, however long we ran. They're going to chase us all the way down trying to get the ball out.
Yep.
And it was apparent that turnovers were important to that defense. Rex Ryan instilled that, and I think the thing that made them stick so well and play so together so long is that they had a consistent coach. On our side of the ball, my 5 years in Baltimore, we had a different OC all 5 years. We
That's
never had a consistent OC.
About.
Yeah, and I mean, yeah, you're dealing with we dealing with quarterback changes in and out. The Troy Smith, the Cordell Stewarts, the the Steve McNairs, the freaking Flacco's, of the worlds. We dealing with those quarterbacks. So even in my 5 years, I played with 4 different quarterbacks that actually started, and Anthony Wright. If you add him, that's 5. Yeah. So I mean, in my 5 years there, I had 5 different quarterbacks that kind of started, multiple games or 1 or 2 games or more. And I had a different OC every single year for 5 years straight. In my last year, I ended up with Cam Cameron, so it's one of those things that the consistency of your coach to build a tradition and to build a foundation in this team is extremely important. And you can't get away from that no matter what. There's nothing you can do to get away from that. In order for us to be a premier defensive team, you got, you just had a D coordinator that was there for 2 years. Now he's gone. Now you got another DC. And you're starting to see that change. And they starting to get that ripple effect from us. And then before they had him, they had Wink Martindale.
Yeah.
Phenomenal.
Dean P. Then Wink. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, you're seeing all these guys in and out like that. And it was just, Mike McDonald, Wink Martindale, now you got Zach Orr, Dean Pease, it's all these guys that are in and out of that defensive room, and nobody takes consideration of how important it is to have that consistency. It's just like being a man and being in relationships, right? If you're dating multiple women, you're going to be inconsistent. But if you're dating one woman, you get a chance to learn her and you get a chance to be more consistent, and she can appreciate you more. And there's a level of consistency and comfort that comes with knowing your partner. And when your OC, your DC and your OCs, transition in and out, it's gonna be some friction. It's gonna be some learning curves. It's gonna be some inconsistencies in how you move. And that's what we're seeing week in and week out. We're seeing inconsistencies of how we move. Blown coverages, miscommunications, guys not communicating the right signal. And it's hard to do. It's hard, unfortunately.
It is
spot on, bro.
I can't imagine learning 5 different offenses in 5 straight years. I mean, that's got to be so frustrating. You're never going to get consistency.
That's Portuguese, Spanish, Japanese, Mandarin. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's crazy, dog. Every coach has a different language, and you have to learn that language in order to understand what you're doing. Yeah, plays are the same; they're a lot similar, but they get so lengthy, wordy, and so different. And everybody schemes. Everybody want to have that wrinkle that makes their offense different from the other one. So you got to learn all those inconsistencies too.
Yeah, that's I couldn't. That's just unfathomable. And there's a wonder why, you're seeing the linear consistency with Lamar. He had the same offensive coordinator for 4 years, and now he's going into year 2 with the same guy, and he's grown so much under Monken. They're protecting him, which is important. Speaking of protection, this offensive line is doing a fantastic job.
Yes. There's like surprise. I don't know if it's surprising, but I mean, we lost a couple guys.
Three total.
Was it 3?
Three new guys on the offensive line.
The O-line departed, and so this is beautiful to see. But man, I'm just gonna say, I love Monken's play calling. Like I love his feel for the game. No, I love this.
Hold on, Mark. You was at the AFC Championship game last year too, right?
Okay, I'm gonna go back. Last year, that was the one where I was like,
yeah. And then we did that one more time against Cleveland just now. Well, I was like, what the hell?
Not to veer off of that subject though, but you guys both played for Harbaugh. Daniel, I know you're a Harbaugh guy. Do you think that was John Harbaugh trying to get into a pissing contest with Andy Reid as opposed to sticking to
No.
the offensive game plan. You don't think that had anything to do with egos at all? Because that was the
Harbaugh,
consensus.
I love his like how he lets his coaches coach.
Yeah,
I think it's why they're great. I think great head coaches trust to their coaches trust the player, like the trust goes downstream.
So I agree with you 100%.
Huge part of why they're really why we are really good and consistently good year in year out. But I feel like a lot of that had to do with Lamar because they trust all the way down, right? And I think Lamar wanted to make a statement also. I think there was a clip, I don't know if you saw it from last year, and it was Lamar and OBJ on the sideline. And and OBJ was like, man, what's going on? What's the deal, bro? Like, use your legs. Like, bro, take off. Like, make a play, bro. We got to get something going. And my mind, as a receiver, he hears the play calls. Like, we know it's been called. Like, I know what we're trying to do. I know the progressions on each play. I know who should probably get it based on each coverage and so on and so forth. But I'm running, and me knowing, hey, we got this guy Lamar back here, and us watching the game, there was a ton of room underneath, like a ton of room. Lamar could took off so many times and got 5 yards and slid if he wanted to, or made somebody miss and kept going if he wanted to. Anyway, I felt like that was kind of like Lamar wanted to make a statement. Ultimately, at the end of the day, that's what I felt.
That's funny that you said that, Mark, because what I do sometimes. I've been on the coaching side of this thing, and I've been on the scouting side of this thing since I've retired, and of course I played a long time along with you.
Right.
And when I was looking at that, I watched the entire season last year, right? And the entire season he wasn't running. He wasn't his normal stuff. He put on all that weight so he could take the punishment.
He wasn't.
Yeah, but he didn't run all year last year, and everybody made a big deal about him. Not running because all he did was run prior to the MVP year, right? So it was like he was so freaking good and so outstanding. People hated on him so much. The media controlled everybody's mindset. So the media said that he's a runner, he's running too much and all that. F that. When you watch the next game, Josh Allen ran just as much as he did.
Absolutely.
All these other quarterbacks running just as much as he was running, but he couldn't run because he's so freaking talented. It was a problem. So last year alone, he didn't run as much as he normally would. But this year he went in the summer and lost a lot of weight to come back so he could be twitchy and he could be quick and he could be fast just in case he had to actually run. So when I looked at that game, I felt the exact same way you felt. Bro, run. Why the hell you not running? But when you look at the season collectively as a whole, I don't know what was going on in the quarterback room or with the OC. And a lot of times, who do quarterbacks meet with? The OC and the quarterback coach, right?
Mm-hmm.
We don't get a chance to ever be in those meetings as tight ends or receivers.
That's right.
It's just usually the OC, the quarterback coach, and then the quarterbacks. And they sit in there and they talk about, hey, Lamar, I need you to sit in the pocket longer. I need you to do this. I felt like that's what he heard all last year, the year before that, the year before that. You're running, you're too antsy, you're moving too much.
Right.
And the guy is so dynamic that it hurts him. People talk to him differently. So I felt like I kind of agree with you 100% that I felt like he was trying to make a point, man, that he didn't got to run to beat you. But at the same time, I felt like it was embedded in him that he had to think that way too at the same time. And you as much as I know, we get brainwashed in that league quick. My first 2-3 years, I didn't think about offense at all. And that's what got me there. I just thought about special teams. That's what they told me what was going to help me make the team as an undrafted free agent.
Right.
So I forgot about what actually got me to the league. Yep. And it wasn't special teams. I was a dynamic pass runner, pass catcher, and I can do shit with it once I got the ball in my hand. So I had to learn to get past that. It took me 3 years to get past that.
Yep.
Lamar is on year 5?
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yep.
Lamar's year 7.
I think it was 7 years. Whew, that went
He's
fast.
in year 7?
2018 was his first year.
Say what now? Say it again, Matt.
2018 was his first year.
He's in year 7?
That's bro. That's cool, bro.
That's what I've been trying to tell people for years too. Like, he's the youngest starting quarterback in the NFL, right? He's 27 this year. I think he turns 28 this year. And he's been playing for 7 years already.
Incredible. That's incredible.
How old is Bo Nix right now?
The same age.
That's incredible.
Think about that, Mark.
That's
They played against each other in college, I think.
Bo Nix is 27 right now as a rookie quarterback in NFL. Lamar been playing 7 years right now.
He's Jason White.
It's like this is.
He's Jason White. Shut up, man. I can't stand him.
Hey, he got Jason White beat because that's
yeah.
He got 2 good knees.
No, I love it, dog. I love it. All right, Mark. Of course, man. Every time one of you guys get on, man, I can talk to you guys all night long, bro. But it's not my goal to take you away from your family and your wife and kids forever, man. We've already been over time. So, Matt, ask the question, Matt, before we go.
Okay. Last segment of the show, Mark, we like to pick an offensive player and defensive player of the game, and we give score predictions. Since you are our guest, give us your offensive player, defensive player, and the final score.
Offensive player of the game this week will be. I'm gonna go with Zay Flowers. Defensive, I'm gonna go.
Love it.
I think I like to see Kyle Hamilton step up.
He's been stepping up,
Yeah,
monster right there.
He's due. Like he's due. Like
he is a dude. Yeah.
First all pro. Like he's due. Come on.
I agree.
We're on the second half of the season. Like let's get it. And then I got. You said score prediction.
Yep.
Yes, sir.
Score prediction. I'm gonna go us 38-28.
Ravens 38-28.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like that.
38-28.
Ravens 38.
Yep.
28. All right, I'll go next. All right, since Marks gave wide receivers some love, I'm gonna give wide receivers some love too. I'm gonna go with our new guy, DJ.
Hey.
All right.
This is to come out. This is pop out.
This is gonna be his coming out. It's gonna be his pop out and show ninjas day right now. So I'm gonna say I'm gonna go with DJ on offense.
Okay.
And on defense, I'm gonna stick with Van Noy. I'm gonna go with Van Noy this week. I feel like we got to get some pressure on this freaking quarterback. And Van Noy is kind of due. He made a couple plays last week, but I need him to be on the quarterback like white on rice against Joe Burrow to mix this thing up and just make Joe Burrow's night a living hell. So I'm gonna go with Kyle Van Noy. And as far as score, I think it's going to be a shootout. For some reason, I feel like it's going to be a shootout. I don't think it's going to be a low-scoring game like most of these AFC North games are. I'm kind of with Mark, so I'm going to say I'm going to go 41-28. 41-28. 41-28.
41-28. I like the high score predictions because I go high almost every week in the score predictions.
You do. You do.
For my offensive player of the game, I am going to go with Zay Flowers. I'm gonna piggyback a little bit off of what Mark was saying. I think he's gonna bust their ass in the secondary this week. Them boys can't keep up with him. They're not gonna be able to do it. Lamar's tossing the ball all over the field right now, and I think he's gonna have a huge game. He might surpass his yard total. I know he had 127 last week. He might get more because there's nobody in the secondary that can defend him one-on-one. And now with Derrick Henry trampling everybody, they got to stay honest. They're gonna have to put 7. They're not gonna be able to put 8 in the box on the Ravens for very long.
Yes,
so offensively, I'm going with Zay. Defensively, I'm going with Tavius Robinson. The man had 2 sacks last week. This is his coming of age game for us, where he's gonna cement his status as a Baltimore Ravens pass rusher for 2.5 sacks this week. I'm going to jump out there. Yeah, that's a monster right there. He's lengthy, he's fast, and Travis Jones is helping out on that interior. I've been a Travis Jones guy all season long.
Yeah,
I love Travis Jones. Yep. So I think that they play well off of each other. Tavius Robinson is my pick this week, and score 45-27. Ravens.
Okay.
45-27.
Lamar plays great under the lights.
30.
35.
38.
I want to ask you real quick before that you go.
Go ahead,
Mark.
man.
I want to ask you before we go, man. Mark, I want to ask you one question before we go. I asked Daniel this the other night. I asked Anthony Mitchell last week. What do you think of the new purple helmets that they're debuting on Thursday night?
Oh, the matte purple? Fire.
Matte purple with the gold.
Fire.
So freaking jealous.
Fire.
When I say so jealous,
Oh God,
So
all
jealous.
uniform shit. I'm so jealous.
Me too, dog. Everything Nike, I'm crazy about. I'm so freaking jealous.
It's awesome, bro.
No, I don't think we ever had any throwback uniforms the entire time I played there. Like we never got a chance to
Y'all
play
introduced
anything
all
throwback.
blacks though.
No, we did. We brought the all black out.
That's I love the all black more than the purple. I mean, all black. I think with that purple helmet would be kind of.
Yeah, we ever wear the black pants with the purple jerseys? We didn't. We only wore the purple with whites, and we only wore the black on black, the purple with white, and then the white on white.
The white on white.
And you guys wore the white on black. That y'all were wearing the white on black when you did the toe tap in Pittsburgh, Daniel.
Tennessee.
We did. We right.
White on black.
Yeah, I remember because I remember that white on black too. Yeah, that's dope though, man. Mark, man, love you, bro. Love you.
Love you too.
I really, truly, honestly appreciate you coming on and taking time out of your night and your day, man, to spend this time with me and Matt. Yeah. And bro, I'll see you soon. Okay, I will see you soon. I'm gonna put that in the atmosphere. When you get ready to go up for that playoff game, let me know which one you're gonna go to. I may try to make that trip as well. Right now, I'm trying to put that Steeler home game on my schedule to try to get up for that Steeler game. Okay. All right, bro. Love you, man.
Love you, bro. Appreciate you. It was my pleasure. Matt, it was a pleasure to meet you.
Likewise, that'll do it for Bleav In Ravens, folks. Daniel Wilcox, Matt Trigger, Mark Clayton, our special guest. Make sure you download, subscribe to the YouTube and the podcast on Spotify. We will be back on Friday night for post game.